Perhaps the other aspect that can propel the economy is the utilization of information and communication technology, ICT. Because it is through that we can fast track our economy, and we can move from poverty alleviation to wealth creation, from joblessness to jobs and startups of SMEs, small and medium enterprises. And one of the questions that was asked by one gentleman about the environmental issue, how can we locally produce something and compete globally? Only way we can do that is the utilization of information and communication technology. If you can spend 5 days to produce a chair for local manufacturers, perhaps you take 5 days or even more, and you still want to charge the same amount that takes seconds to produce same kind of or better from China or elsewhere, you cannot compete globally. That is the bottom line, and that is the truth. In the issue of the presentation here, I had 2 words that captured my attention. One of them is sustainability and attitudinal change. When it comes to the area of sustainability, truly so, any nation or state that wants to have a sustainable economic growth and truly be a knowledge-based economy, that country or state must embrace the advances made in the information and communication technology, ICT. When it comes to ICT, there are 2 components. You have to have the ICT infrastructure as well as the capacity building, the human capacity building. That is the only solution that you can have economy that can move beyond what we are talking about. I'm happy to say that in Kaduna State, His Excellency Governor Architect Namadi Sambu has made ICT an integral part of his 11-point agenda. And the infrastructure as well as human capacity building in that aspect will continue to go hand in hand. I'm sure you're aware that 8,000 of the 27,000 civil servants at the state level had the basic ICT training this year. And right now, 11,000 at the local level are being trained on ICT at the startups. And this is the phase 1. Phase 2 will incorporate those specialist programs on ICT. First, you have to have the base level, and then we'll move into specialist ones. And next year, the program continues until all the civil servants and states have been duly trained on that aspect. The idea is to have better service to the good people of Kaduna State. At the moment, we are also connecting all the NDAs, the ministries, department, and parastatals. We're linking them up. We're creating a virtual private network with a state database that will incorporate all aspects of government so that the services to the people will be better, faster, efficient, and transparent. This is the only way to go in this knowledge economy. You have to be able to compete at the local level, but with a global thinking. If we cannot do that, unfortunately, we will continue to be where we are. Just look at China and India some years back. The Americans had to do a lot of things or spend so much money in their own country just to have jobs. But what is happening today, they are outsourcing all their jobs in Asia and India. The Chinese people were spending so much amount of money in terms of trying to attract foreign investment and even paying some of their spies to go into the America or Europe to steal a bit of technology, until it dawned on them that the only way you can get those investments to come to you is to create an enabling environment. And they stopped all that. Instead of paying so much money, they concentrated on providing that enabling environment locally. And believe me, if we do that today in Nigeria, the investments will come. This is the way to go in a knowledge-based economy, in today's economy. Of course, if you have abundance of natural resources and so on and so forth, it helps. But the key is not that. The key is human and intellectual capacity. It's value. If you have that, then you can be rest assured that you can have knowledge, innovation, and creativity. And these are the only things that we need. So ICT is paramount. And I think government can only do what it can do. Like in Kaduna State, I'm sure you're aware of the new city that is coming up. In the design of the new city, ICT has been taken into consideration. All the road constructions included a fiber optic ducts to run fiber optic cables. And we're also planning in that design to incorporate a WiMAX system that will cover the whole new city. And of course, it will affect the old city as well, so that we can have internet on the go, and we can have connectivity all around, just like the banks have now, with better service and so on. But government, as I said, can only do what it can. You have to involve the people as well as the private sector. And that is why we are going into collaboration and partnership. There's what we call the public-private partnership as well as public-public partnership if you are dealing with foreign governments. We will also need a lot of partnering with the local entrepreneurs, people like us, people like you, that are into this system, so that you can come up and help through SMEs. Because even in the developed country, it is the small and medium enterprises that provide most of the jobs. Forget about the top ones. Of course, everybody aspires to be there, but the small and medium, those are the ones that will create what we want, the sustainable economic development. Now, the second aspect is the attitudinal change. And whenever we talk about attitude, when I was making reference to the chair, the carpenter, is an attitudinal change. If you change your attitude, the way you produce, if you make what you produce better, cost effective, you are changing your ways. But then when it comes to environment, you see, if you drink pure water today, and after drinking it, perhaps you just throw the paper just on the ground, somewhere, anywhere. Or take the banana, for instance, you just eat it and throw it somewhere. And if somebody were to tell you, oh, why don't you just keep it and maybe put it somewhere where, you say, come on. Even if I throw it, or even if I take it, it doesn't make any difference, right? Because everybody is doing that. But no, you can actually do your own part. If you do your part, perhaps somebody will see you and emulate you. And it will be a spiral effect. I'm just giving an example on this very aspect. But we can apply it to so many things. Whenever we're talking about attitudinal change, it reminds me of a story. It reminds me of a story of a father with his child walking down a beach. They were just walking down, and for some reason, thousands of fish were just being pushed by the current, and everything is just off the shore. The fishes were all dying, thousands of them. And the little boy just pulled away from his daddy and ran. He started catching the fishes and was throwing them back. Small ones, I was throwing them back. And the father ran into him and said, son, why are you doing this? There's thousands of them, you can't save their lives. The little boy turned back and looked at his dad on the face and said, Dad, for that little fish that I pushed back into the water, I've made a difference in his life. All right. So let's try to do our own part and let us collaborate, let us support the government, and definitely the future of sustainable economic development will be around the corner. Thank you very much.